Alright. What's up, guys? Back with another banger video. Um Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. For all the OG um C Money fans out there, you know that my gaming channel was recently deleted by YouTube, so all the C Money clan OGs, I thank my 16 loyal subscribers. Um but I think I'm gonna be turning over a new leaf. Um, Gaming just isn't as fun recently, and I just don't have enough time. Uh, so I figured I might do something a little bit different today and see how I like it. And I might end up, uh, making something out of it. I thought I would do something a little bit fun. So we're gonna be doing a Star Wars lightsaber duels tier list. So we got all the duels here. I'm gonna be trying to keep this a little bit short, at least less than like 10 minutes, hopefully, but I'll go in depth. Um, so I personally I think I've seen every single duel here, except for, there's probably, okay, there's one, and I'll just get that out of the way right now. Give me a sec. Have not seen. Okay. So that oh, what the heck? Alright, there you go. Okay. So oh my god. Okay. So I'm just gonna get that out of the way. Let's get into it. So I've never seen this. I have not watched a whole lot of Rebels. It's personally not my favorite show out there. I know this is the scene between Ezra, Caden, and Vader. I've heard a lot of good things about the show and this scene in particular, but I just personally have never seen it. That's on me, honestly. I'll go look into it. I'll go look into it. Um, so with that out of the way, I think we're gonna go in chronological order, or the way that they came out. So let's see here. We'll start off with Obi-Wan and Vader. This is a classic scene. I'm gonna put it at A. I'm tempted to put it at B, but see, this is where it gets difficult. This scene is kind of boring, but you have to understand that back in 1977, George Lucas did not have the same special effects as he did with the prequels or the sequels even. So this is kind of slow paced, and they couldn't really do a whole lot with the lightsabers. But the way that the scene is executed, and the plot, and just, if you've seen Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars or the prequels, you have a larger connection. At the time, the scene probably was not as, you know, good, but with all the lore we have about both of these characters, and how he takes a defensive stance, which kind of explains his slower movement, but also the fact that he kind of accepts his fate. This is a very good scene, and its status alone, as a technical feat, but also the first official Star Wars duel to be captured, I think this is a solid A tier. I can't put it up in S, but it's just not as good, but its status is just legendary. So I believe that's the only one for A New Hope, which would mean the next is Empire Strikes Back. There should be one Empire Strikes Back if I remember correctly. Interesting. Yes. Okay, this is S tier. This is one of only. I see. I don't want to spam S tier. This is one of them, A tier. This is very dip. It's just because I don't want to spam S tier. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll put this in B tier so I won't feel as bad. Okay, this is a legendary fight. It is iconic in so many ways. I want to put in. This fight was so well choreographed, seriously, that guy deserves a raise. Whoever choreographed this fight deserves a raise. Um, but also, this is just like the whole tone of this movie is amazing. This is easily my favorite original movie, almost my favorite movie. Um, the way it ends with the chasm and he loses his hand and he finds out Vader's his father. It's just so well done. It's well choreographed, and it's so interesting. Vader during the fight, he tries to be very careful with his attack pattern because it's his son. He's not trying to kill his own son. Now Luke doesn't know that yet, but you can very subtly tell that Vader's not trying to kill Luke, or at least not severely injure him. You know, so I very much appreciate that from George Lucas and the team. Very, very good choreographed fight. Um, so next would be, I believe it would be this, the one from Return of the Jedi. This is S tier. So this is S tier. There's no doubt about it. This is one of the most brilliant fights ever. It amazingly closes off the Luke and Vader arc, father son arc. How Darth Vader, um, how his story ends with the Emperor, getting thrown down the chasm, which, we're not going to talk about Rise of Skywalker, and that movie pisses me off, but that's actually for another tier list. That might be my next tier list, the Star Wars movies. But yes, I very much respect this fight. The ending is sad when Luke finally sees that Vader's his father, and or sees what his father looks like. It's just such it's a legendary fight. I think it is truly the first S tier fight for me. So then I think we're gonna go to the prequels. Yeah. So we'll start off with Qui-Gon Jinn versus Mace Windu on Tatooine. So, see, this is kind of I don't really call this, it's a duel. It's a solid C. See, this is a D for me, personally, but it's our first introduction to Darth Maul, and it's a badass introduction. It's badass. Now, Qui-Gon Jinn, I personally feel is one of the weaker characters. If you don't know the comic lore, just looking at the movie alone, but this is a very kind of middle of the road fight. Darth Maul is perfect as always, and it's not really the duel's fault. Qui-Gon Jinn, if you look at his attack patterns throughout the movie, he's much more willing to flee than fight. If he has an opportunity to flee, then he will. We see that in the movie, actually. He leaves the fight to get on the fighter jet and kind of just abandon the fight, which, if you know his character arc, that's very on point. So, not so much of a fight. I think this is C tier, solid, solid C tier. Next would be, I think, any more Phantom Menace fights? No, I don't think so. Okay. So then, that would be, oh yeah, this one, of course. Okay, this is an S tier. After this, there's only one other S tier. This is probably my second favorite duel in the series. It's such a well choreographed, best choreographed fight ever, in Star Wars. The chemistry between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn is absolutely remarkable. It's George Lucas. This is fucking amazing. This is amazing. Darth Maul's badass. He handles Qui-Gon Jinn like a badass, and it's it just shows how good of a dueler he really is, and as a fan of the comics, it really does pay service to us. I really enjoy the detail that they like paid to this movie. Um, Obi-Wan, he kills uh, Darth Maul because of his own arrogance. You know, his own his own arrogance as he falls. And a common trait you're gonna find is that the best fights typically have some sort of big hole, a chasm, which Obi-Wan falls down of, and then jumps back up, cuts him in half, and he falls down the chasm. And this isn't gonna be the last fight with Darth Maul, but just know this is my favorite fight in general. But I just for the life of me I cannot put it as number one, but it is a solid. Hold on, it is a solid number two. Okay, so enough with Phantom Menace. Attack of the Clones. I don't believe there's any Attack of the Clones besides. Oh yeah, these two. Okay, so first is Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Count Dooku. This is a solid C tier fight. I almost want to put it in B tier. I do actually want to put it in B tier, and I do that because this is one of those fights where if it wasn't for Master Yoda, Anakin and Obi-Wan would have been dead. Count Dooku is a force to be reckoned with, and I'm glad that the movies don't treat him as some like just another basic bad guy. They show that the Sith are evil and they're also very strong. So they don't fuck around with that, right? Count Dooku is a badass and he handles it like a badass. And so I'm glad that they show the good guys losing for once. And Count Dooku's able to escape because of Yoda, and we'll get into that fight right now. So this is an A tier fight. This is one of the only fights we have with Master Yoda in the prequels. Actually, I think this is the only fight. Oh, second only fight of Yoda in the entire series, and it's amazing. It's another really well choreographed fight. I mean, I can't imagine how annoying it would be fighting this little prick. I mean, he's just jumping around like. I love this fight, and you can see Count Dooku's overwhelmed, and Master Yoda probably would have won if it wasn't for Count Dooku, dropping the pillar down onto Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Yoda having to save them so Count Dooku escapes. So amazing duel. It's just I cannot put it up with S tier. Yeah, I simply can't. One, it's the ill will to Attack of the Clones, easily my least favorite prequel movie. I guess that's ill-willed bias, but still very, very well choreographed fight. I love it. So yeah, we're gonna go on to now I think it's just Revenge of the Sith, my favorite Star Wars movie. I also think it has the most fights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it has the most fights out of any Star Wars movie, which is epic. And it makes sense. So first off, Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Count Dooku, Part 2. It's kind of hard for me. I'm going to say it's a solid B tier. In fact, I'm actually going to move this to C tier and move this to D tier. Do I want to? No, because there's some atrocious fight. Yeah, no, this is going in C tier. I'm sorry. Yeah, C tier. So, this fight is a better version of this. Honestly, it's kind of the same thing. Obi-Wan gets his ass kicked, and then Anakin, he taps into the dark side, which is the real important part of the scene. This could have just been another, mid-tier fight, but it shows Anakin's slow transformation to the dark side as he transforms his inner anger into fighting Count Dooku, and ending up, winning the battle. And we see, of course, Chancellor Palpatine egging him on to kill him and whatever. it's very good foreshadowing, and it represents his change really, really well. Um, Seriously, a very good fight, and it also is a good prelude to the events that are about to come. Um, Next would be Obi-Wan and General Grievous. This is easily like A tier. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone gives me shit for liking this. Everyone says it's a C tier. Not because it's not a bad scene. It's actually a really loved scene in Star Wars, especially Revenge of the Sith. But it's the fact that it's not really a lightsaber duel. I mean, you got some fighting in the very beginning, but then General Grievous kind of just, pussies out and leaves, and then there's this like cool spike staff sequence. But that's not even that while they're on the speeder and Obi-Wan's on that weird lizard thing. Then they get on the platform, um, and then Obi-Wan ends up killing him with his blaster. But I like the choreography in this fight. Obi-Wan actually hits or kicks him with his leg, and he, winces in pain. I'm really glad that they included that. It really helps with the atmosphere, because he's metal, and Obi-Wan really uses this fight or he knows he's gonna win because Grievous is so arrogant. He's gonna, try to take him on head on without any of the support from the droids, so he knows he can win. But again, it's not so much of a duel. I just love this fight. So you know what? For a Star Wars lightsaber fight, it's a B. But for a Star Wars scene, personally, one of my favorites. But it's a B. So the next would be... forget, is it? No, yeah, no. It's Yoda first. Okay, so this is low-key like a D tier fight. Nah, there's some trash ones out here. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna put this in. Yeah, okay, D tier it is. Only because this fight should not have gone this way. They really should have made this fight something different, because you had three Jedi Masters and then Yoda walking up on Palpatine. They should have easily been able to overwhelm him, but Palpatine comes fucking flying in, and he kills two of them basically instantly while they just stand there and do nothing. Kit Fisto, he throws some swings, but he goes down after about 10 seconds of fighting. 3 Jedi Masters, and they couldn't do anything. This scene really pisses me off. They really should have found a better way to do that, seriously, still kind of pisses me off. But the scene where they're fighting in the Senate room is super cool. How Yoda drops his lightsaber and doesn't go back for it because he knows he's not ever going to need it again if he lets Palpatine leave. Palpatine's going to take over the galaxy and kill all the Jedi, and Yoda can't do anything about it, so why go get his lightsaber? Super well done. This is one of my favorite fights in the end, but that first scene, it really just I'm gonna have to put this in C tier. I cannot. We'll see at the very end. We'll see. Then there's the Mace Windu fight. So this is a really cool fight. Easily one of it's like a B tier fight, only because Mace Windu is the greatest swordsman in the galaxy at that point, and so there's really no reason why he should be struggling as much as he was. But he actually wasn't struggling. I should take that back. He was doing really well, and he actually would have had Palpatine killed if it wasn't for Anakin. If Anakin hadn't come and listened to Palpatine, Mace Windu would not only be alive, but Palpatine would be dead. It's a solid fight, and Mace Windu dies horribly, and we get to see the backstory on why the Emperor is so just disfigured and burnt. I guess that's cool. I want to put it in B tier for now. We'll figure it out later. So that's cool, and we see Anakin's change to the dark side, how he accepted the dark side. Really cool. Um, and our final Revenge of the Sith duel is my final S tier, actually, between Anakin and Obi-Wan. This not only is a really well choreographed and done fight, but in Revenge of the Sith, this is probably some of the most like superbulous acting I've seen them. Is that a word? So whatever. It's really good acting. I the prequels are not known for their good acting, but this end scene, sometimes it makes me cry. I have to prepare myself for the scene because it's brother against brother, basically master against Padawan. Obi-Wan knows that there's nothing he can do. His son, the guy he's been training for all these years, has turned sides, and now he has to kill him or watch him wither away. It's a very sad scene in the very end. Very, very emotional. Obi-Wan is a genius in this fight. We see how well he is with a sword. He's easily one of the best swordsmen. And we see that. This is my final S tier fight. It's just so emotional, so well done, so well shot. And you can see the emotion on Obi-Wan's face. And the "I hate you" line by Anakin. Amazing. Amazing. I love this. Favorite fight, actually. Yeah, that's my order. So now we got all these. I believe next on the list would be Darth Vader versus Ahsoka. I saw this fight a long time ago. I know that this is an A tier fight, though. This is such a good fight. I have not seen this in about a year and a half, and I really should be putting it down here. But like, from what I remember, this was a fucking amazing fight, and it's because Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan, and it's emotional because Vader knows who it is. It's not like he's not aware who he's fighting, and it's just extra emotional, and how Ahsoka's able to cope with it all, and how she walks away from the fight unscathed. It's like, seriously, if there was one thing that you should take away from Rebels, it's this fight. It's so good. It's, even if you hate Rebels, this is such fan service, and I absolutely adore it. I love this scene. The emotional intensity that's in the scene is amazing. The I'm gonna be the first to say the animated fights have some really good choreography because they don't have technical limitations or limitations from the actors. Qui-Gon Jinn was doing his own backflips in these scenes, or Liam Neeson was doing his own backflips in these scenes. So you can imagine how hard it was. But it's animated, so, really good choreography. I love this fight. It's amazing. So from there, it's the, oh, you know what? We're actually missing a fight. It's the Obi-Wan versus Vader fight from Obi-Wan. Now, I hate that show. It's one of my least favorite. It's my least favorite Star Wars show. If it wasn't for Ewan McGregor, I would not watch that. But this list does not have that fight. It's a very good fight. I would put it at an A tier, but I don't have it here, fortunately. But we'll move on. So then I guess next would be Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul, the final Darth Maul. So this is a solid B tier. Oh, you know what? I want to put it in A tier. This is such a good fight. Darth Maul spends years tracking down the guy that disfigured him and ruined his life, and he finds him, and he's about to get his revenge. But a common trait with Darth Maul in these fights is he's just too arrogant, and the arrogance gets the better of him, and one foul swoop, Obi-Wan bests him. And this is so much a duel as it is just Obi-Wan absolutely destroying him, mauling him. But that's still just a very Very good fight, and it's the ending is specifically good. The emotional connection we have, how Darth Maul is able to reconcile, and how they're able to have some last few moments even as enemies. I mean, it's very, very beautiful fight. Solid A tier. Um, Now we're on to the sequels. So, okay. Okay, let's start off with Finn. This is my least favorite duel. I believe that's Finn, right? Yeah. My least favorite duel in Star Wars series. Finn is garbage. He's not even force sensitive. Um, he can barely handle the lightsaber. I mean, he can, but one of my least favorite things about this fight is that, and the same one with Rey, they neither of them have had any lightsaber training up until this point. So why are they just instantly able to combat Kylo fucking Ren, who's been trained by Luke Skywalker and what's his name? What's his face? A really ugly dude. Oh, I'm blanking. I'm blanking on his name. Snoke. He's been trained by two of the greatest bladesmen in the entire galaxy. And he's not able to hold his own against some defect stormtrooper who's not even force sensitive. And Finn gets his fucking ass kicked. And you know what? Kylo Ren should have easily killed Finn. He should have killed Finn. I'm very passionate about Finn as a character. Kylo Ren should have just destroyed him, but another story. It's least favorite duel. So next is Rey versus Kylo Ren. I'm kind of mixed. I'm gonna say E tier because Kylo Ren, same thing with Finn. He should have absolutely destroyed Rey. Rey has had no experience with a lightsaber. She's very recently even gotten a touch in her force powers. Kylo Ren should have actually destroyed her. There's no reason for her to be this well off against Kylo. It's just there's no reason. There's no sense in it. And she's able to win. Kylo Ren should have killed both of them. I'm getting very passionate here. And it should have just ended there. You know, I don't care if the whatever it was, Death Star 2.0, Star Killer, you know, ends the universe. I don't care. It would have made more sense if fucking Rey died. I hate this scene. I hate both these scenes. I should put them both here, but I have such a distaste for this dude. You know what? Yeah. You're an F tier. You're an E tier. My final fight is the Luke Skywalker fight. I'm really tied between E and D here because this is a cool fight. You know how it's all shot and everything, but it's not even a duel, you know? And Luke Skywalker should not have gone out like a sad old depressed man. That's not the Luke Skywalker we wanted, you know? I get that his whole character arc in the sequels was that he was a sad, depressed guy who is convinced to work with the resistance once more, and he saves them in their last ditch attempt. And this whole scene copies Hoth so much. The whole like Hoth Empire Strikes Back, like, oh, rebels are dying theme. I guess I like that, but it's just Kylo Ren pisses me off. I might put this in C tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in C tier. It's just the sequels fights are just so boring, and I know we're actually missing a few. We're missing the sequels fight. We're actually missing the Rise of the Skywalkers fight. I didn't even realize that. Damn. Okay. So I'm gonna say right now, pretty much all of the Rise of Skywalker duels are gonna be in E and F. Say for the one where she's dueling Kylo on the destroyed Death Star with those waves. That's a C tier fight just because of the cinematography alone. It's beautifully shot. But all the other fights, E and F, it's self-explanatory. Sequels movies suck. I don't really want to, sequels movies suck. So I'm going to go through this list one more time It's pretty valid. Actually gonna move you right there. Yeah, valid. No. Valid. Okay, valid. It's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty valid. Okay. Nah, you can see. Yeah, so that's the official list. You know, if you guys agree with this list, make sure to comment down below. You know, drop a sub, turn on that notification bell, like the video if you want to. You know, it really helps support the channel. With the YouTube algorithm these days, I don't know. You know, I'm trying to get my channel back on track, but you know, it's whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you know, I'll see how I like this when I post it. I might do some more tier lists, but for sure the next one will be Star Wars movies. So make sure to tune in for that. All right, guys, catch you on the next one. Peace.